Yes guys, how's it going and welcome back to a new video, and just a quick one for you guys this evening to talk about the fact that Eddie Howe, Newcastle United have now completed what many said would be an impossible task, and as of last night are now officially, mathematically safe in the Premier League this season and will play in the Premier League again next season. I think we've kind of known for a while now that we were safe, but as of last night, with Leeds losing against Chelsea, it is now officially mathematically confirmed that we will be in the Premier League next season. So there was loads of celebrations last night on Twitter and social media. Newcastle United were tweeting out, Murdad, the owners, they had some statements as well that we will go through in a second. Eddie Howe had his press conference this morning and he had some really interesting things to say about some low points and some high points from the season, so I want to go through all of that in this video as well. And I know we've all been celebrating what is to come this summer and what is to come next season already, but again, for it to be official is just top quality. It's crazy to look back at the season we've had, because part of me feels like 2 seconds ago that I was stood outside of St James's Park celebrating the takeover, but then it also feels like a lifetime ago that Steve Bruce was still the manager and that Mike Ashley was the owner. It feels like so much has changed in one season that it feels like it should be longer ago than it was. Newcastle are the first team ever to not win a game after 14 matches and stay in the Premier League. That is why people called it the impossible task, because no one thought it could be done. And let's not forget, when Eddie Howe first came in, it wasn't all plain sailing. We actually had a really tough run for the first few games, and we still managed to pull it out of the bag. And if you're not a Newcastle fan, you may well go, well, they spent 90 million, that's why they stayed up. And you know what? We did spend 90 million, and I'm glad we spent 90 million, because that definitely did help towards us staying up, but it's not the full story. And criticism was given to the signings that were made. Would Dan Burn, Matt Targett, Chris Wood, be enough? Trippier got injured straight away. And let's be honest, Bruno has been worth every penny, but those players themselves have come in and again proved the critics wrong that they were enough to come in and do the job. Eddie Howe was criticised when he came in as to whether he was the manager for the job. He has blown it out the water. I'm going to be honest, and when Eddie Howe came in, I'd already given him a free pass because he came in with such a huge mountain to climb that I'd pretty much resigned us to the Championship. And if you'd offered me at that time, would you take new ownership to go down to the Championship? I was saying yes, because we just needed a fresh start. I said if we could have a new ownership but stay in the Premier League, I'd rather do that, which is exactly what we've managed to do, but I'd already given Eddie Howe a free pass. I'd said, look, at this point, if we go down, but he brings us back up, we'll start again, we don't have to do that. We've managed to do it this season, and with time to spare. We've not just limped over the line, we've done it with a good amount of points ahead of that bottom three, which is just tremendous. And again, going back to Eddie Howe and what he's been able to do at the club since he's got here, he's instilled confidence, motivation, passion. You look at, the signings again, Dan Burn coming in, local lad. I seen him in an interview the other day with Fraser, laughing and joking around, enjoying what they're doing. I mean, for so long, the players have looked unhappy, like they didn't want to be here. I think Shaw's a great example of that. A few years ago, I thought Shaw was done because he just didn't look like he wanted to be here. He's now playing, some of the best football since he got here, and he signed a new 2-year deal. You look at Joe Linton, a man that, Steve Bruce couldn't get a tune out of. Now Eddie Howe pulls him into midfield. He's up there with Declan Rice with tackling stats, and then he puts him up front and he scores 2 goals against Norwich. So it's just, what a turnaround he's had. Fraser, again, a player who came in that I was so excited for. I was really excited to see whether we could get the Fraser from Bournemouth. Steve Bruce couldn't get a tune. Eddie Howe comes in, all of a sudden, absolutely rocking. It's a shame he got injured near the end of the season, but again, the team's just turned around completely. As I say, everyone was on social media last night to celebrate. Murdad came out and said, when all the odds were against us, when everyone doubted us, we united and forged ahead. Tonight is a result of that work. Thank you, Eddie. You have been incredible. Thank you to the coaching staff, our squad, and to everyone at the club, and of course, the fans. I think Murdad's become a fan favourite, hasn't he? What a bloke. He absolutely loves it again, you know. The fans want to enjoy it. They want to enjoy it with the owners that have come in, and again, everyone will talk about the money, and everyone outside of the club will go, richest club in the world, you know, for so long. And I talked about this when the takeover went through. As much as I was celebrating, yes, we might be able to buy a few players. Yes, we might be able to do something. I was never celebrating, oh, well, we might win the league, or oh, we might get top 4. And even at this point, I'm not even really there yet either. Obviously, that's something to strive for. But what I'm celebrating at the minute is the new kit's going to get released. It's going to be the first one I'm going to buy in about 5 years. Because I couldn't go into the club shop and spend money at the club knowing that it was going to an owner that didn't care. I haven't been buying pints and pies in the stadium because I didn't want to give money to an owner that didn't care. Now I can go to Shearer's Bar on a Friday or a Saturday night and have a few drinks and enjoy myself. You know, it's the community. There's so much change, and I just think Murdad with a comment like that, it's just fantastic. Eddie Howe had to say that it's been an incredible ride. Thinking back to the first games, it was a difficult time, especially the Cambridge game. Again, that was Trippier's debut. That was a full crowd, and we lost against Cambridge. I can laugh about it now. It's okay to laugh now. The biggest compliment I can pay to the fans is they stuck with us when chances to get out of trouble were slipping away. Which again brings me on to what I said earlier. 14 games without a win. Even when we won our first game against Burnley, it wasn't plain sailing from there. We then went and lost to Leicester 4-0. We lost against Liverpool. We lost against Manchester City. We drew against Manchester United, which again, we could have well won that game. We then lost against Cambridge. We then drew against Watford, which was a must-win game at the time. Then we beat Leeds. Then we went on the international break. And then we came back and went on that crazy run. So it just shows, even after Eddie Howe got his first win of the season, he then went 6 games with again, no more wins. So it's not even like we started winning after the 14th game. It took us another 5 or 6 before we got our second win, so we didn't have long, and we managed to turn it around. He also said that it is an amazing feeling to be mathematically safe. It's great to finally have achieved the objective we set out to do, and full credit to the players who, from minute 1, have given everything to us. So again, he's thanking the players there, and I've no doubt he's a happy man right now. Again, it probably won't happen because they always give manager of the month to whoever wins the league, but honestly, he's got to be a contender because again, it was what many said would be the impossible task. People were doubting Eddie Howe, the pundits, is he the man for the job, etc, etc. I've no doubt he's held that little chip on his shoulder and gone, you know what, I'm going to show exactly what I can do, and he's totally done it. So yeah, I'm a very happy man. I mean, just to go on, he's obviously spoken about the final 2 games of the season as well. We're really keen to end the season with 2 very good performances. It's so important we perform in our last home game, leave a good feeling for our supporters for the summer, whet their appetite for what's going to come next year. So I cannot wait to get to that final home game of the season against Arsenal. St James's Park, under the lights, Monday night. War Flags are meant to be having the biggest display they've ever had. So if you go in, they've said to get in there early to make sure you don't miss out. If you're happy to see Newcastle in the Premier League again next season, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are getting really close to 30,000 subscribers. I cannot wait to see what happens this summer, what happens in the new season. And it's just great to come on here and, just celebrate it because there's been so much doom and gloom over Newcastle over the last few years. For me as well, doing YouTube, talking about Newcastle for the last few years, there hasn't been that much to celebrate, So to come on here and have something to smile about, it's just class. Alright guys, thanks for watching as always. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.